Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, just about afternoon. We'll open up to your questions. Excuse me.
Hey, how good is Trey White playing in your estimation?
He's playing at a high level. It's week to week, but he seems to continue to grow, and I think it's really a result of his habits during the week and what he learned from his first two seasons as well. He's using that and applying that every week.
What is it about his ability to make plays at the clutch the way he's done? That wasn't the first time he's done that, given that he's leading the league, or he's at 14 turnovers in the second half.
Yeah, he's in the moment. He plays in the moment, and he applies what he does in practice to the game on Sundays, and that's a good skill.
Sean, how has Matt Milano responded to the treatment over the past few days?
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's maximized those treatments, so we'll see how he does today. He'll be limited today. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sean, I didn't hear you. Is he practicing?
Yeah, he'll be limited today. Yep.
Sean, back to Trey, just the idea that I know you preach as much as any coach, take the ball away, but even when that doesn't happen, what's your assessment of the kind of game he plays that certainly would discourage, the idea of discourage quarterbacks from throwing his way, and therefore he doesn't get to make interceptions, but he's doing other things out there, right? And what are some of the things that he does?
The other things that he does? Well, I think he plays good team defense. There's not a lot of corners, take it or leave it, that always subscribe to that in terms of the tackling, how they fit into the overall, how their part fits into the overall whole of what we're trying to accomplish on defense. And so I think just from that position alone, that really stands out big.
Is there a particular affinity you have for him? Because obviously he was the first guy that you picked in 2017 as the head coach, your first draft pick. Is there, you love all your guys, I know, but for him specifically?
I love all my guys. You said it. And I love when he's dancing and smiling. I think that's good energy and juice that he brings to us. He's got a great smile. So from that standpoint, if I say yes, then the rest of the team's going to get on me, Sal. So it's like my kids.
Duke Williams, Kevin Johnson, will they be limited or not?
Yeah, they'll be limited also.
Sean, just one more follow to Trey, but back then, ahead of that pick, is he now what you envisioned then when you guys made the choice?
He's a good player, and I think he continues to evolve, which is what we envision with all of our players, all of our young players. That's part of, as coaches, what we get paid to do is develop what's brought in, and then the player has to take ownership and do his part as well. In this case, Trey has done that.
Leslie said something to the effect when you presented on the game ball, you mentioned his goalie academy. Just what do you make of that?
Well, it looks, the Sabres are playing at a high level, so I think it's a good partnership, and whatever knowledge he's sharing with the goalies over there, with Ralph and his staff and their team, I think it's working to this point, and so we appreciate them helping us at the same time.
Sean, I think this is the first time that you're playing the Eagles as a head coach, and I know that they're the next opponent, and it's important, but do these games mean anything to you since Philadelphia is where you got your NFL start?
It's the next game, really. That's how we do it. So, look, it's been a long time since I've been there. That's where I got my start, so I'm forever grateful for that. And working with Andy Reid there and being, working where I grew up and being around my family, it made it special. It really did.
What kind of a challenge does Zach Ertz present?
Yeah, he's one of, if not the best tight end in the league. We know he's a key part of that offense and hard to stop. Their offense overall is hard to stop with the different weapons they have. They've been together a long time, a lot of continuity, and Carson Wentz is, again, one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. They've got a good running game, a good offensive line. They've got a lot of talent on that football team with Fletcher Cox, Malcolm Jenkins. Have a lot of respect for what he does. You look at Brandon Graham, what he's been able to do for his career. He continues to. Really, their front 8 on defense. There's not a guy in there that as I said the other day, any defensive coordinator wouldn't want to start on his team. So they've got 8 guys that they continue to push at the quarterback, and that's hard to defend.
Sean, what's your take on how Doug Peterson has evolved from the backup quarterback he was when you guys were together in Philly to the head coach that he is now, including, of course, a Super Bowl win?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me knowing Doug, watching him, how he handled, excuse me, that situation as a player, and then how he approached his coaching career. He's extremely driven, smart, great leader. Obviously he led them to a Super Bowl title, and so it doesn't surprise me just knowing Doug and how he does things.
John, obviously with Schwartz, they're gonna blitz. We know that he blitzes an awful lot, sort of like Greg Williams does. How would you assess how your offensive line this season has dealt with blitzes?
Probably like a lot of things, there's some things we've done well and some things we need to improve on. And that's not just an offensive line deal as it relates to pressure. It's an overall offense as it relates to pressure because one thing is affected by another. I think that's an ongoing deal, whether it's pressure or a 4-man front or a 3-man front. We have to continue to grow in those areas.
Staying on the offensive line, I mean, you had so little continuity in the summer and preseason, and now, you're in the top 7, I think, in yards per carry. How do you feel about how the run blocking on front 5 specifically has come together?
Yeah, I like where we're, or some of the things we've been able to do, led by, Mitch and John Feliciano, and I like our pad level. I think that's it's such a fundamentally driven position and a mindset-driven position. I like where we're, some of the signs of progress that I've seen with much work to do, and so every week's a challenge. I mean, they're going to have to block probably the best defensive line in the league this week, if not one of the best, and so every week's a new challenge for our group.
To what degree has Josh improved in properly diagnosing things pre-snap to get you guys into a better call?
Yeah, I would say he's doing his job probably more than anything, and that's a short answer to your question, Chris. I know, but that's what we depend on is for him to do his job, and so he continues to grow in that area in terms of his recognition of what's going on, and how the defense is trying to take certain things away.
Sean, does the team need to make some move before the deadline to tell the guys in your locker room you really believe in them as a legitimate contender?
I think they know where we stand, and so I'm extremely confident in the guys we have.
Sean,
Sorry.
Yeah, before week 1, you said you were looking for your offense to develop an identity. Now we're at week 8. Do you think your team, this offense, has developed one?
To the question that was asked earlier, continuity is a piece in that. In terms of the more time you have together, the more you're able to build. The more you're able to build an identity in this case, and then build off of that identity. And so continuity breeds consistency, breeds communication, it breeds familiarity with one another, and how we play off of one another, and how you do your job and how I do my job. And so that's usually a good thing with the more time you're able to spend together.
Given there's been some lack of or the continuity took time to develop with the offensive line shuffles in the preseason, how far do you think that the identity still isn't there yet? It hasn't entirely revealed itself, given the lack of continuity there was this offseason?
Yeah, still work to do. Yeah, still work to do.
Sean, Micah talked about on the onside kick play about the film study and being in the right spot and knowing what might happen. Here's a guy who's a safety, big part of you, to be that dialed in on film study on an onside kick. Does that, I guess my question is, does that go unnoticed that guys like that really put in that work as well that doesn't get talked about until it's needed, basically?
Yeah, just overall, it's just, it's not with Micah. He's such a professional, and it's been a joy to watch him develop since he's come to Buffalo, and the impact he's made on a day-to-day basis. And so, really, those are the habits we're trying to get our young players every year, the new wave of young players, first, second-year players, to understand that you have to earn it. in this league, and when that opportunity comes, you've got to be ready.
Sean, I think PFF said, put out a stat that Josh has the highest QBR from line of scrimmage to 19 yards in the NFL, lowest in throws beyond 20 yards. How does where he's at right now compare to where you envisioned him at this point in the season?
As it relates to,
I guess his development as a passer.
yeah, I mean, again, much like our team, there's been some good things and signs of development. There's been some areas with our team that we need to continue to grow in and develop, and that comes with more time on task. It comes with again, the continuity end of things of who he's working with, and as it relates to Josh, and then his development as well. So, like I said before, we've got a lot of work to do as a team, and that's why we're about to go out and practice.
Specifically though, Sean, like, you know, him overthrowing receivers, that sort of thing, the deep ball situation, is that becoming more of a concern for you?
You want to hit those. You want to hit all passes. Don't get me wrong. You want to hit those passes for sure, and it's execution, right? All of our execution every week is a concern for me, whether it's defensively, offensively in this case, or special teams. It's so important that we can execute, whether it's a run, a blocking scheme, a deep pass in this case, an intermediate pass, execution. Being able to play at a high level, being able to play well is important.
Hey, Sean, on that same point, you know, he hasn't completed a deep ball yet this year, 30 plus or whatever it is. You can show that to a defense, and if they're incomplete, they're incomplete. But do you need to complete one of those just to make sure the defense is going to respect it? And I'm not sure that the defense respects it right now until you can complete. As a coordinator, defensive coordinator, do you need to see it first before you worry about it?
We need to play well. That's what we need to do. And therein lies, whether it's deep passes, short passes, we need to play well. And so that's an area, I'm not ignoring it, that's an area that we need to improve on.